to us right here. So, my wonderful friend Matthew is here with us now. Oga Matthew, how you doing? How are you doing?
I'm good, thanks.
Oh wow, you sound so clear. You sound clearer than I am. That Joburg internet is awesome. Brother me.
Well, you caught me on a good evening. For once, Arsenal won. So yes, I mean,
We're not going to do this Arsenal thing here. Luckily for you, I'm an Arsenal fan. What if I was Man U? How dare you even bring something like that here? We will have just fought and scattered this whole place. Do you know a friend of mine? A friend of mine was rejected entry into the UK in 2007. Man U lost. He now wore, Man U lost, I've forgotten what team he was. He now wore that team's jersey. And the immigration officer was a Man U fan.
Oh, wow.
There is nothing they didn't ask, no document they didn't ask this guy of. They asked for his mother's birth certificate. There's nothing they could have asked that they didn't ask. So how are you, Matthew?
I'm good, thanks.
How is COVID-19 in South Africa? How is the government responding to the pandemic?
I mean, remember, like now, I'm in Ghana now. So.
Oh, you're in Ghana now. Oh, awesome.
I've been in Accra. Even last time we spoke, I was in Accra. Yeah, I've been in Ghana throughout the whole time.
Throughout the whole pandemic.
You know what? The thing is that because I'm between Accra and Johannesburg, so on the last day before the shutdown and before the closing of the borders, I actually could have traveled back to South Africa. But I was like, you know what? If there's any place I want to be, I'd rather be here with my government, and I have so much trust that we could do it properly. You know what I mean? And it really been the best decision because for us, I mean, Ghana, Accra has been very chilled, and unfortunately for South Africa, they have a proper winter, so obviously it's going to be much more hectic for them, you know, and especially now where you go in from at normal when you're going to winter times, obviously, you know, the immune system will automatically drops. People get flu much easier, which means that it's much easier for you to get COVID-19. And right now, it's hectic. You know, it's really hectic in South Africa. You know, so I'm happy that I'm here, eating my jollof rice and my.
You just had to go there again. You just had to go there again. Anyway, big ups to Lai Mohammed, who has declared the winner of the jollof rice war to be Senegal.
Well, you know, we can never accept that between Ghana and Nigeria. You know, it's our right to have that fight forever.
Don't worry, I'm coming to visit you in Ghana, Matthew, and I've warned you I don't want to eat jollof rice. We have enough of that. Taste buds can cook jollof rice for me. I want to eat banku, kenke. That's what I want to eat. I told you earlier on today that my dad went to Tema Secondary School. My dad did both primary and secondary education in Ghana. So my dad speaks fluent Ghanaian or I don't know which of them, Chui or there are two main languages.
Or Ga.
Yeah.
Either you speak Chui or Ga.
Which one do you speak?
No, I don't speak it fluently, but I mean, I should be speaking Chui, but
Chui.
It's very difficult to learn.
Are you serious?
It was easier for me to pick up Yoruba sentences when I lived in Nigeria than picking up Chui, you know.
Wow. Yoruba, 1-0 for us. Now, you saw the video I sent you about the purported Ghanaian president. First thing I want to ask you is that Ghana's president?
No, it's impossible. I mean, first of all, I mean, remember, like our president is one of the things that he's known for, apart from being extremely well educated, is his mastering of different languages. He speaks fluent French. You know, he speaks some of the most elegant English that you will ever hear. So for him to sound like some guy who just came out of some, I don't know, like it was ludicrous. You know, I mean, it was preposterous. You know, that even tried to assume that could be the president speaking like that. And also, like one of the things that have made people have so much faith in our government and trust, during this whole pandemic is that during the most hectic time, especially in the beginning, he was every Sunday, Monday evening, he would come and have a talk on national TV, etc., and on they'll be on Instagram Live and whatever, So you would hear from him all the time. So there'll be no way that he will come out with some kind of, especially some kind of announcement like that, and it would not be announced. I mean, how can we in Ghana not know if the president have done a public talk? It's impossible. Addressed by the president, we don't know in Ghana, but it's on Instagram. No, come on.
All right. You know what? Many people might not have seen the video or heard the audio. So let me play about 5 minutes of it, if you permit me.
Okay. Yeah.
5 minutes of that, and let's do away with it. I'm sorry, I didn't plan to speak about or to play it, but I know a lot of people are going to question the fact that they've not heard this particular audio. It was first sent to me by my dad. Of course, I debunked it I didn't even need to call you to debunk it, because I knew no sensible president of a nation that is as forward thinking as Ghana would come out and release such a statement. So guys, I want you all to listen to this. You can find the audio on Idris Abdul Karim's page as well, for those of you searching for it, and it's on my Instagram account. So ladies and gentlemen, this is supposed to be the Ghanaian president, but like Matthew Mensa has rightfully said, it was a lie. This is not Ghana's president. Ghanaian president can never speak like this. So here he goes, guys. Sorry, waiting for Instagram to load. Fellow Ghanaians,
but are you really gonna play the whole thing? It's long.
No, just 1 minute. I just need them to listen to it, so they can. So anytime they hear it, they will know that it is not.
Please listen to this extract from the Rockefeller Foundation article. And this is the outline. 1. Hypothesize a simulated global outbreak. Required steps. To fit the needed plan, and they have SARS/HIV hybrid research strain. So you see, it is not a purely viral thing. It's a hybrid research strain created at Fort Detrick platform.
Like Matthew said, I shouldn't waste your time listening to such nonsense, because I'm sure even you are annoyed. You don't want to be put through listening to this utter buffoonery that they're circulating.
No, I mean, remember as well, like some of the things he was saying in this, he was like, wow. I mean, like, our president would never speak like, I mean, it's so completely unstatesman-like to speak like the way he spoke there, and not even have the understanding of grasping of the English word properly, Remember, our president has such an English accent, that this guy clearly couldn't muster. And also, remember, he's one of the most educated people, not in Ghana, but on the continent. He used to be Attorney General. He created to this day, one of the most famous law firms, which you have some of the most respected, even our Justice Minister came through that law firm many years back. And he used to be our Foreign Minister under President Kufuor. So there's no way he will come out suddenly in 2020 and sound like he just lost every grasp of the English language. No, it's impossible.
Okay, so thank you so much for this. And the reason why we're having this conversation today, Matthew, is to throw light on the infodemic. A lot of people are beginning to realize how potentially hazardous the misinformation is regarding COVID-19, regarding Bill Gates, regarding vaccines, regarding the Rockefeller, and all these things that they're purporting and putting together. I feel, in my personal opinion, that it is more dangerous than even the pandemic itself. What is your take, and how do you think Africa as a whole? Because first time I met you was in Nigeria. You live in Ghana and South Africa, and traveling from Ghana and South Africa, I'm sure you've touched base or in Kenya and possibly many other parts of Africa. So you're an African citizen, if there ever was anything like that. So how do you think, how damaging, in your opinion, is the infodemic? Let's start with that.
Well, I mean, it is something that's really started to become very rampant. That we saw during this whole rise of Donald Trump as well, how fake news just became a reality, and how when social media had became more and more powerful, that that we use that as a medium where a lot of us are taking in information without even digest it in any shape or form. And you see it as well, almost every day, even on the different blogs on Instagram, somebody will post something, and without even turning around in your mind, people just take it as the Bible and just say, oh, right, okay, no, let me not say Bible because I know you're going to come after me. So let me use a different expression. But people just take it as gospel and think that, okay, because they see it on social media or some blog, it must be the truth. And the truth is that there's never been so much false information circling around, and social media has also given space to all these conspiracy theories that is swirling around, And the thing is, the funny thing is that 4-5 years ago, nobody would come and say all these kind of things about, for example, someone like Bill Gates. But now people have been, I don't know where they get all these kind of mental things from, because I myself, I knew you from back then in Nigeria, and this is over 10 years ago. And back then, I was part of doing the campaign, the national campaign with the WHO, the Nigerian government, and Bill Gates Foundation, Bill Gates and Melinda Foundation.
Oh, wow.
Yes, I was part of that, and also that at that time, Oceanic Bank was part of it as well. So Oceanic Bank with Mrs. Ibu was part of leading it as well with the government, and WHO. And we were doing the whole national campaign. Back then it was a big problem because as soon as you got to the north, it became an issue, because even at that time, they thought that the vaccination could have something from that would make them not believe in still be Muslims and so on, But after when they allowed, when the different Muslim leaders and so on that came in and pushed for the vaccinations, we for the first time ever eradicated polio.
I know that. I'm
exactly.
aware of that.
And at the same time, that would never happen unless Bill Gates Foundation come in with funding. Secondly, I was part of doing the peace campaign in Liberia and Sierra Leone together with a lot of very, very amazing ECOMOS soldiers who's now the UN soldiers from Nigeria, from Ghana, and even from South Africa. A lot of people, good men and women, died in that war from Nigeria and Ghana, etc. There was peace troops. But it was the Bill Gates Foundation that came in afterwards and funded the Stop Child Hunger school feeding program, so they could get back into schools and stuff like that. And the school feeding program has even been rolled out in Nigeria as well. That is just funds that came from the Bill Gates Foundation as well, So I don't understand how suddenly we just turned around and said, okay, no, this guy is a monster, because he was definitely not a monster when he was giving out that money and there was no vaccinations, there was no pills, there was no nothing, And if people have that kind of mindset, remember, if the same person who invented those computers that people are sitting and writing that nonsense on, that is the same person.
Thank you.
That created, but people had no problem. This guy could have come up with so many other more easier ways if he had some kind of evil plot to take over the world or reduce the population, etc. And remember, all the pharmacies that everybody's using in Nigeria, Ghana, whatever, they are all by none from abroad, mainly from US, Germany, etc. You can't even travel across the continent without getting a vaccination. You know, you have to have a yellow fever. You're getting vaccination for chickenpox, smallpox, and whatnot. You know what I mean? So it's just mental to think that now this one here, even in South Africa, I can go and get a vaccination against flu. You know what I mean? People are doing that like madly now because of COVID-19 and because it's really bad because it's so cold in South Africa right now, you know? So it just makes no sense. But, you know, sometimes some of these conspiracy theories just gets seeded into people's mind and it'll just be fluctuating and just be taking its own life, you know?
Now, let me read something to you that a lot of people are not aware of. In 2014, Nigeria borrowed money from Japan to fund its fight against polio. The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation has agreed to repay the loan after Nigeria met the condition of achieving more than 80% vaccination coverage at least one round each year in very high-risk areas across 80% of the country. Now, we borrowed money from Japan. Bill Gates paid the debt, or is going to pay the debt over the next 20 years. He'll pay off $76 million for us. You can verify this anywhere. I'm reading this from CNBC, a verified news website. So like Matthew Mensa said, how did Bill Gates go from paying our debt? How did he go from feeding children in war-torn Liberia? How did he go from putting a computer in every household to becoming the Antichrist, the devil himself? How did he go from being an angel, from attending Dangote's daughter's wedding as one of the VIP guests, to all of a sudden becoming a villain, simply because we are surrounded by people who have refused to think, refused to read, refused to have understanding, and are drenching themselves in conspiracy theories. First of all, let me ask you, do you support Donald Trump? Before I ask my next question.
I am 100% totally and utterly against this buffoon. I mean, complete madman, okay?
Just calm down, because we might be on the same page, but there are some people who love him. And I want to ask you, do you think the surge in misinformation came as a result of the way Donald Trump is handling the office? Do you think there's any correlation?
But that's what I was saying before. Like, if you go back to find out, like, when all of these things became like just a norm. I mean, when was it ever possible for a president to be talking like that? You know, I mean, just start with, you're starting off your campaign coming out and saying, calling Mexicans murderers and rapists, and some, I presume, are good people. That was your opening line as running for president. Anyone else would have been out of office. Even before that, I mean, even where he was talking about grabbing women by their parts.
Yeah, I remember.
He used the word that he was actually using. You know what I mean?
Like, he actually said that.
I mean, can you imagine? And then everything that's going to be said against him, he always says, it's fake news. And now the guy is coming with so many deliberate lies that people just are shrugging their shoulders. But I can tell you, like, no other state leader will be able to come out with some of those things that he will be saying and people just allow it. You know, I mean, even this is the same thing as well with the COVID-19. It's not something that I'm coming up with. It's something that he said. People can, if you're watching this, people can fact check this. He said his own words that it was just something that was going to go away, like miraculously, it will go away in a couple of weeks. So it was nothing to worry about. At the same time, he was saying that people within his own administration were selling on the stock market all their shares in tourism and entertainment and all these kind of things, and bought shares instead in IT and Zoom and whatnot, you know? I mean, is that not very ethical, and because of you having a different agenda than what you're putting out in front of the people. I don't know what is, but yes, I mean, there's no way that I can take Donald Trump serious. I mean, even people within his own party, even people in his own family are coming out now and saying this guy is a blistering fool, and that he's actually dangerous, and how can it be that never before in any administration have you seen such a turnover of staff that's coming in and out of his own administration, and never before have you seen anyone being, and regardless of whatever you think of Obama, because for me, I have my own issues with Obama to what happened in Libya, etc. But he was never impeached. He never had anyone from his administration go to jail. You know what I mean? Like you can't rightly say that Donald Trump is not. And secondly, like the way he's divided U.S. In such a form that you have never seen before. There's never been such a big divide in America as there is now. So it's sad to see, but this is the reality.
Thank you very much. For those of you who just are tuning in, Matthew Mensa is Ghana's ambassador on tourism, arts, and culture. He's a humanitarian, a public relations expert, and a campaign strategist. Now, I want us to talk about vaccines. What is your take on the whole infodemic regarding vaccines?
Well, I mean, the thing is that I would say as a given, to start with, that I think that there are some vaccines that are needed, especially for children and babies, that that we have seen what happens if you take the vaccine and if you don't, But I also believe that there are certain, like we live in a world now, especially if you're in US, where you're getting subscription for almost anything without even having the symptoms for it, because the pharmacies are so powerful in US that you have people on so many drugs that they probably shouldn't never be on to start with, We don't have the same here in Africa, luckily so. I mean, especially not in West Africa, because it's much more expensive for us. But I do believe that there's a lot of things that people will not need. And I also believe that there's alternative solutions to certain things. Not, of course, to completely take it out. But I do believe, for example, that some of the people that have cancer, they said, I did so-and-so with this kind of natural herb that helped me. But it wouldn't be a complete, it would be an addition to whatever else they would take, but they will stop taking some of the more harder drugs, for example, But at the end of the day, I do believe that some of the things we are getting dumped over us are not maybe that healthy, but I would definitely take vaccinations if there was something that came for COVID-19, which of course have been through the right clinical testing, etc. Right now they said that there was something that came that was from
Russia,
that they're quite close to
a breakthrough.
And that could be if they have tested it. And they've gone through all the clinical tests, and they've done their trials on humans in Russia. Then it was, and it came here, and it was been approved by WHO, etc. Then I would rather take that chance than go around without. But that's just me.
Okay. Are you still working with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation in any capacity right now?
No, I don't.
What about with the UN?
Well, I work on some projects with UNICEF that we are dealing with now, but that is on gender-based violence, because I'm also very much involved with gender-based violence. So it's not on anything to do with the vaccinations or but it's been more about some of the issues that's been happening due to COVID-19. So I've also been working on food deliverables in South Africa together with our team, awareness for child trafficking, Act Africa.
Awesome stuff. This is very, very wonderful. Now, what do you think the solution is with regards to getting people to understand that the vaccine might actually be helpful towards eradicating COVID-19? We all know that today polio has been eradicated almost in the entire world except for 1 or 2 countries. And the numbers of polio cases in the last 10 years in Nigeria have dropped so drastically as a result of vaccination. Malaria, although not directly linked with vaccination, has also been eradicated largely due to medical breakthrough. There are some countries that have totally eradicated malaria. So when some people come and say, like for instance, the Madagascar Agbo, the Madagascar tonic that I'm going to ask you about, when they brought it out, my opinion was, how come you people are saying this thing is working when they're having so many deaths? You understand? They said they had no deaths at that time, but I'm like, you have 1,000 cases and no death yet, and you've only had 100 people recovering. It's only a matter of time. People are going to die. And right now they have over 30 deaths and about 4,000 cases.
Even people within their health department that was pushing that mobile drink, they are also sadly passed away, So,
oh, wow. Even people in the cabinet.
Yeah. So they had one of the national health directors who passed away, like some I think it was like last week. It was announced, and again, and that's again like how conspiracy theories just thrive, because as soon as WHO said no, we cannot take that, and we had some governments around that, like, oh yeah, send this to us, send us, like, no, we're gonna get it and we're gonna try it out. Completely irresponsible. But WHO said no, and the next thing you know, it's because it's from Africa. That's why we can't use it, etc. No, it's not because it's from Africa. It's because it's not been clinically tested, and it's shown like 1 month later they have so many cases of people dying, and it's a small country. So if you take it per capita and you have 1,000 people or 2,000 people with COVID-19, and there's 300 people that's dead out of a population of 70,000. That is a lot. That is a big crisis, So you can't take things and just push it from a emotional point of view. Things like this. We have to be more considerate and really ensure that it's properly tested. And one of the problems that we have on the continent is like, I feel that we are lucky here in West Africa, and of course as well, like up to East Africa, is that we don't have a winter. It gets cold, because in South Africa, like that government, and that's why I feel so sad for South Africa, because the government has done exceptionally well, but you cannot protect more than you do with nature plays in, and nobody can prevent what happens during a winter, because in South Africa, that winter like you have in Europe is like properly cold. I mean, you have to wear gloves and whatnot, and people have heaters inside, etc. So obviously people will get a cold very easily. You get a flu. Your change of season is also adds into your problems, and then you have COVID-19 on top of it. So it's just like a nightmare. But what we have of a problem here in West Africa, and if we had a more colder climate, I think we would have been in massive, massive problems. Because what we have here, unfortunately, we have all these and I say complete, utterly nonsense, moo-moo, fake pastors who have the control over churches with 200,000 people. And they're like saying, oh no, this is nonsense. You guys should come back to church. You don't have to just go home, pray and shout 3 times hallelujah, and nothing will happen. Next thing you know, half the congregation have like the COVID-19 and pass it on to everybody else, And the problem is as well that our pastors now, especially in West Africa, have so much power that they will come up with things that's completely madness. Like, when this guy said, I declare by the 14th of May is over. There'll be no more corona in Nigeria. And where are we now? We are like the 15th of July, and it's worse than ever, I mean, it's just madness,
Absolutely. So far, I warned the world. You saw my campaign on the Madagascar issue. I'm like, guys, wake up, wake up, wake up. And they're like, don't they have a malaria? The response of people, which showed me how silly human beings can be, is, does malaria not have a medicine? Why are you saying that people are dying from Madagascar's medicine? Does malaria not have medicine? Are people not dying from it? Listen, you twits. Malaria has been eradicated with that medicine across the world. You only have malaria primarily these days in sub-Saharan Africa. 80% of the world's malaria is here. Before, it wasn't like that. They had malaria in other parts of the world. But what they did was they eradicated it. And what they used, they did not use agbo. They used these same medications that we are saying is poison to us, simply because it's not up to par. You cannot compare the Madagascar agbo with the Russian vaccine, for crying out loud, or the vaccines being developed in Italy or in France or on that table is by saying they rejected us because we're black. They rejected us because we're Africans. They hate us. Playing the emotional card, knowing that the people you're playing the card to are ruled using sentiments and emotions. How could you ever believe that Madagascar had a cure when, as of today, they have 5,000 cases and 37 deaths? And they have a cure. Even one person from the set of people that was propagating the medicine has passed away, unfortunately, right now. So these are the things we need. These are the things we need to fight as Africans. We need to fight sentiments and emotions. I want the best medicine. I don't care if it's from China or from South Korea or from Russia or from the USA. I want the best. I'm not going to go and get a vaccine because it was produced by a black man or because it was produced by a fellow African or a Jew. No, I want the best. And if we have that mentality, we will not have the current problems we have in Africa. The next leader must be Igbo. You don't care whether the Igbo people have a good leader or not. You just want your quota. And then when it's done, the next leader must be Yoruba, or the next leader must be Zulu, as the case may be. And this is the bane of Africa: emotions and sentiments replacing logical thinking and fact-finding. On a final note, Mr. Mensa, thank you so much for joining us today. It's been wonderfully enlightening. What do you think the way forward is regards to COVID-19, the pandemic, and the infodemic?
Well, I mean, my very, very good friend, Mr. Duke Essien, was telling me the other day when we spoke about it, and this is going to be the bare truth, that we're getting to a point where it comes down to your immune system, because we don't know when. First of all, we don't know when we're going to get a vaccine, and governments are not going to be going back into lockdown, etc. I mean, there's no governments, especially like around West Africa, that can have the economy to be able to go down and do a shutdown that we like did in the beginning. So at some point, it comes down to how well are you prepared to go against it. I mean, and that's also mean how well are the government ensuring that people are heeding to those safety guidelines that's being put out. But apart from that, you're soon going to be on your own, because it is really about protecting yourself and ensure that your immune system is as strong as possible to be against it. And I think as well that probably a lot of us have been around someone who has like the COVID-19, but if you haven't got it, because maybe because your immune system is strong, or because you're protecting yourself. But the thing is that one thing we cannot afford to do is to go into this false sense of, oh, it's gone now. It's definitely not gone now at all, and that's another thing as well, is that now people are going to say, oh, see, there's not so many people. I don't know anyone who has COVID-19, so it must be a scam. It's something that the government is doing. And I'm always like, which government would go into putting the economy in such a bad situation that it is now, especially those countries like Ghana. We're in the middle of a presidential election campaign. Do you think that this is something that's going to be benefiting the president, that he would get a call from whoever, say, oh, you want to be part of this little scam we have going on here? Oh, yeah, it sounds fantastic when I'm running for president. Have the whole country upside down. It's just mental. I don't understand how people can think like that. Do you think Donald Trump would want to be in this situation with COVID-19? No, of course not. Regardless of how good or bad you are, none of these state leaders will want to be in this kind of situation, because it's not good for the economy, at all. But to answer your question more directly, I feel that right now the best thing we can do is just to protect ourselves as much as possible, and just still keep our wits about us. Wear our mask, take those precautions, insert like the social distancing. I mean, for me, I'm always home. I never thought I could be home that much, but I only go out if I go down to the supermarket. That's my night out. When I go down to the supermarket or go and get something and back again. And I'm not even, if anything, it learned me not to have any FOMO anymore, because when I see people on Instagram going to parties or whatever, I'm like, yeah, I'm glad that I'm not there. I don't want to be at any place with music and allow people and any nonsense. No, I want to be home, by myself, and just see this through.
Thank you so much. Me too. I've been working from home for the last 4 months, more or less. And I don't intend for that to change until I see the silver lining on the cloud, or the light at the end of the tunnel, which so far I have failed to see. Thank you so much, Matthew Mensa. Ladies and gentlemen, please, a big round of applause wherever you are to this awesome gentleman who is Ghana's ambassador for tourism, arts, and culture. He is a campaign and PR strategist, or
Before
a public.
I go,
Yes.
Let me just say hello to my people in South Africa. I can see there's quite a few here, and of course my dear friend Felix Okoye, that you also know, our good old Felix Okoye. He should be in bed by now, but I'm sure he's out here.
Oh yeah, and Ugo Okoye. You guys used to run a club back then in Nigeria.
Yes, of course. Yeah. Yes.
I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Matthew, thank you so much for this. It was super enlightening, and I hope my people did learn a lot. God bless you, and take care of yourself.
Bless you. Thank you, brother. Thanks.
Okay, guys. Adobe.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
That was a wonderful session with Mr. Matthew Mensa, PR strategist and ambassador for tourism. He's a wonderful fella, a great guy, and he did speak quite a lot of wisdom. Let's take a couple of phone calls for the next 5 or so minutes. And yes?
Okay.
You were saying?
All right. I said before we open the phone line, let's play some art and then we'll be back.
Okay, absolutely.
Okay. It is 99.3 Nigeria Info.
games to go before the season ends, the more the intensity. As each fixture now seems to have a higher density with few strains to prove their authenticity and avoid any form of complexity. Competing with game week 36 matches, taking center stage in the Premier League. The draw begins on Tuesday, July 14th as Chelsea makes Norwich at Stamford Bridge. Wednesday offers even more excitement with Manchester City hosting Bournemouth. Newcastle entertaining Tottenham and the big clash between champions and
Javiola, how are you doing? What are we discussing? We're talking about the misinformation pandemic, aka the infodemic.
Thursday, Crystal Palace welcome Manchester United to the Dallas Park. Catch all the country with Billy and the gang on 99.3 Nigeria Info. It's like a ball, just the way you like it. I'm a radio presenter. My work is to put you in directions that say,
What's the number? 0700 993 993 993.
To the degree to which the system can work for us, we haven't stretched the system to that degree. Are you willing to petition them? If you leave it on conversation, it's never really going to go beyond.
Lots of opinions, also some incorrect information regarding malaria. It's still out there and it's not eradicated. It's eradicated in many parts of the world. It's not eradicated in sub-Saharan Africa, but it is eradicated in many parts of the world. Trust me, I traveled to Romania in 2007 and I had malaria. And guess what? They had to call Nigeria for formula. They had to create the medicine for me from the labs and order some of the ingredients from Asia. My sister had malaria at the time when she was about to give birth. We had to look for someone to literally travel with the malaria drugs of 3,000 naira only to Romania. So I know what I'm talking about.
It's 99.3 Nigeria Info. Hi, Daddy Praise.
Yes, my darling Ada. What are they saying via message? Let's take a couple, maybe 2-3 calls maximum, and a few messages. What do you people have to say about what is going on and about the wonderful gentleman Matthew Mensa's contribution to the infodemic and pandemic debates?
All right, 0700 993 993 993. Hello. Hello. Yes, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, sir.
Okay, Mr. Patrick, please go ahead. Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Please, I want to teach us also about the Muslim religion, so that we can understand if Muslim religion is better, we'll just switch off.
We're not talking about religion right now. We're talking about the conspiracy theories.
Okay.
Okay. Hello? Hello, good morning. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning, sir.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. On the devices, they are spoken everything. Like what's all this while, everything is coming to reality. I would like to, I've been following you for since the time I started aviation. You're doing a correct aviation. Even though you age, I think now you are 2-3 years. You're doing an inspiration. I listened to you, I followed you because of the knowledge about the scripture. But this time, I was disappointed because of somebody criticized you, saying you're not going to discuss about the Bible again. Come on.
Okay, I'm sorry. I take that back. I'm going to talk about the scriptures anytime you people ask.
Okay.
Is he still listening? Okay. Thank you very much, sir, for your observation. I'm just going to reduce. I'm not going to stop totally, but I'm going to reduce it because on the radio we have anyone, just anyone can call and take us back. For instance, today I was preaching a very serious message, a very serious scriptural revelation message on my channel. And somebody just came and said, Daddy Freeze, I don't understand. Is Satan not Lucifer? I have done numerous teachings exposing the falsehood and the misconceptions. I cannot start explaining to you afresh. What I just said was go and check my previous videos, go and check my previous teachings, my write-ups and all these. I have to put a book together. So next time I preach something new, I'll just say go to page 155 on that book and read line 3 so you have an understanding. But on the radio, you might be at level 100 and somebody just says, I want you to explain level 1 and takes us back to that beginning. And if you don't explain to that person, it'll now look like you are not serious. You don't know what you're doing. So I got very frustrated yesterday, and I apologize for that, because I for saying that I was not going to teach or discuss the scriptures. But sometimes, trust me, it is very frustrating. I have sat down with scholars in Greek, in Latin, in the original languages of scripture. I've sat down with spiritual people who are more spiritual than scriptural, and we have all discussed and come out with agreements that all of us stand on. So for someone to just come out and say that the Freeze does not know, it rubbishes the last 3 years of my spiritual and scriptural work. So please, guys, if you do not agree with me, or just come out and say no, but don't come out and say I don't know the scriptures. So to the caller who called, I will continue, since so many people have been asking me to continue teaching the scriptures and discussing the Bible, I will continue. But please also know that it's also dependent on your cooperation, how you listen to me, because I'm one of those people who are going to tell you that Daniel bowed to Nebuchadnezzar's statue because there is no scriptural evidence that he did not bow. I'm going to take the left side most of the times, and because I want you to wake up from the delusions. The only people that did not bow to Nebuchadnezzar's statue, according to the scriptures, are Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Everybody else, every other language, every other nationality, all bowed, and Daniel was working in the palace when this happened. So the most logical, sensible, scriptural, spiritual thing was he bowed, but most people believe he didn't bow for whatever reason that they cannot fathom. So I'm going to dig that up, and if you don't have contrary scriptural evidence, I'm going to bully you. So I don't need people coming, how can you? I remember when I taught that, people came after me and said, that how can you say Daniel did not bow? I'm saying I didn't. The scriptures did. If the scriptures say every presenter in Nigeria Info ate pancake except Adobe, what does it mean? It means that the Freeze ate pancake. No be so. Let's take one more call, and you end with the messages.
Okay. Hello. Hello, good morning. How are you? All right, what's your name, sir? Hello, are you there? What's your name? So sorry, dear. We can't have a conversation with that sound. Hello? Hello, good morning. How are you? Fine, thank you. What's your name, please? Okay, Mr. Akin. Welcome. Let's get your points, dear. Yes, it is. Okay. Hi, Daddy Freeze. Do we take more calls and messages?
Maybe one more call and a few more messages. Up to you, my dearest sister.
Okay. 0700 993 993 993.
Just one more call and messages.
Okay. Hello? Hello, good morning. Good morning, sir. Okay, Nathan. He can hear you.
Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate that. Okay, Ada, a couple of messages so we can go.
Okay. Okay. If for nothing else, Daddy Freeze is an epic knowledge. In fact, I'll be filing my notes to jot down from now. Benga. Daddy Freeze, please don't allow anybody to frustrate you. Just continue with your job. Shikina, Muyi, Olaro Waju. Okay. Hey, good evening, Ada and Daddy Freeze. If there is no COVID-19, let the government that say it exists prove that it exists. He who alleges proves. The onus of proof lies in the government who reels out these patients and their death by COVID-19. Abracadabra. We never used to count our deaths, keeping records of what killed who in Nigeria until this COVID-19, the latest devilish African depopulation movement, and that of the world in general. Okay, this is quite lengthy.
Don't bother reading it, it's foolish. I'm sorry.
Good evening, Daddy Freeze and Ada. Please don't stop picking up the scriptures. We can't have them put you down. Donna V from Etiosa.
Quite a lot of encouraging messages. I'm happy.
Yeah. Ada, blessed good evening, my beautiful sister. How you doing now? I hope so you did fine. I beg tell Daddy Freeze, making take them easy. Some of us like them. But say some people hate them, maybe everybody will like you finish as human being. I beg, forgive and forget that man. We don't know waiting in the talk. In just the talk anyhow. I beg, help us do waiting you sabi do. For us, we like your program. Now God will bless you. Ada Uyibo. My name is Kinsley Oduduru Eru from Apapa, Lagos. Okay.
Okay, Ada, thank you so much. That has been quite an enlightening show, and I'm glad I had the opportunity to share it with you, especially coming from the demoralization of yesterday. I wouldn't lie to you, I was pretty upset, and I was like, you know what? I'm done. Nobody's paying me to teach anybody scriptures. My work is radio work. Let me just do it and go to my house and rest. But I'm glad a lot of people appreciate the effort we've been putting in. And I'm glad that God will continue to direct us to do his work, because Nigeria needs to be emancipated from mental and religious slavery. Thank you so much, Ada. It's been such a wonderful time working with you. You're like my biggest gift for 2020. Your head will start swelling now. You turn to Humpty Dumpty. Thank you so much. All right. God bless you. God bless you all. See you guys tomorrow. Stay blessed. Uchiwali, see ya. Stay blessed.
All right, Daddy Freeze. Have a great night.
All right, guys. Don't forget to get your copy of Melvin Ejogu's book, The Greatest Reality Show, from thegreatestrealityshow.com.ng. Download a copy for 1,400 naira only. Another thing I want to tell you is I'm going to be having a Forex expert come in and teach you guys how to trade Forex at 2 p.m. tomorrow. Her name is Buki, and she is a Chairman 10. She's an awesome lady. She's going to teach you everything you need to know about Forex. Sitting at home has brought to light many opportunities for people to create wealth from their homes. Don't get left out. Be a part of this. It's going to be awesome. 2 p.m. Nigerian time tomorrow. Make sure you join us. Take care and stay blessed.